All right. So, May 15th, Monday, 2023, I had to catch my flight out of Vegas back to LA. Um, so I was flying out of Harry Reid, flying into LAX. Um, I didn't sleep good the night before. Um, I went to this glam event the night before. It was really fun, but I didn't drink. I didn't buy anything to eat. I didn't want to purchase anything. I was just kind of like, I'm just here. It's already late. Like we got there at 11:30. Stayed till like 12:30. Stayed like an hour, which was fine. I didn't need to stay longer. Honestly, like I should have been in bed by that time, but I was like, let me just go because otherwise there's not going to be another convenient time to go, and that's the only time I could have seen my friend because they were working. The other times, which is fine, I knew that they're busy working, and I had purchased my festival tickets so far in advance that things have definitely changed over the months for both of us, honestly. So, um, like we made the effort to meet, and that was fine. Like I always appreciate it. Like I'm always fine, even if I could just grab a coffee real quick, grab like Starbucks and like or grab like a McDonald's, like a quick fast food snack or something, and just catch up real quick for like 30, 40 minutes, even if it has to be just that, like on somebody's lunch break or something. To me, that's even worth it, like I'd rather see my friends than not see them, if that makes sense. Um, Even if it's just a small amount, you know. But of course, I prefer to spend like multiple days together and stuff, but I knew that that wasn't going to be the case. And we were just trying to coordinate, and it worked out. But yeah, usually when I go out late at night, I don't come home and sleep right away because I'm pretty pumped up. So, you know, I started actually dozing off to sleep around 3 a.m. Uh, that would have been the morning of May 15th, Monday, and then like by that point it was already Monday. Like by the time I got back to the hotel, it was technically Monday because it was like 12:30 after midnight. Um, and then yeah, but I didn't really drink. I didn't really eat because I was like I don't want to get like a whole lot of energy and or just like screw with my energy because it's been a little off with my sleep and stuff. And so I know if I eat late at night or anything like that, it might be harder to sleep, or especially if I start drinking or anything like that. It's like that kind of makes it so my sleep is a little weird. Um, or I might get like really hyped up. I never know. And so I was just like, that's not going to be worth it because I've got to wake up in the morning, and I already pretty much was expecting to not sleep well. And so I didn't sleep well either. So I didn't sleep good. Um, um, and then, I had a bit of an edible in the morning because I was just like, I don't even care. Like, it helps me on the flights, honestly, like, just to chill. But I try not to have so much that, like, I can't easily get back through airport security. Because, it is kind of a little bit much, like, taking off your shoes and taking off your stuff. Like, it would be so easy to be, like, too stoned and, like, forget something. And I don't want to do that. So, um, I didn't want to be too stoned. And so I basically made a point to not get too like I took like 2.5 milligrams of an edible. Got through airport security okay. Like I don't even think it took, maybe it took 30 minutes. I don't know. It wasn't long. Like they were pretty quick. But it was different than going through LAX. They did actually make us remove electronics, from our bags. They said anything larger than a cell phone. Whereas at LAX, they are on the updated rule for TSA that you don't have to remove your laptops and stuff. But I mean, LAX is one of the busiest airports, and so they do tend to kind of jump on things pretty quickly. Um, but yeah, overall, I mean, it was organized enough, and I got through, found my gate. Um, well, I don't know. I guess before that, I Ubered to the airport, and I had a nice chat with the driver. I had a really good Uber driver who we were kind of talking about. Um, he used to live in the Valley, in Simi Valley in LA, and for 50 years has lived in Vegas. And, we were definitely talking about, how things have changed over the years, like what he's noticed, and then more recently with the cost of living. And he's saying, that, a lot of people are moving out to Vegas, and like, which I've noticed too. And then he's saying that, like, yeah, the cost of living is a little bit of a struggle in Vegas too for a lot of people. And because, like, it's cheaper, but it's not like cheap necessarily. But I mean, you can definitely get something way cheaper out there than what you can get in LA, so, or San Diego. So San Diego is probably just as expensive as LA, in all honesty. Um, I feel like LA has more housing options, if that makes sense. Like, because there's just so much more to choose from of where you might want to live. Like, it's, more populated, but also there's more housing, but also you can live pretty far away and still be in LA County technically and still have to drive like 90 minutes one way just to get to where you're trying to go if you try to work somewhere far. Like, if I were driving from like Long Beach to the Valley every day, I mean, I don't know anybody who makes that drive, but I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who do. Like, I've driven from a little north of Long Beach um, to downtown, and it was still, I'd have to leave like 2 hours early, and it would usually be almost a 90-minute drive. And I would always consider, if I might need to make like a little pit stop for the bathroom, or if I might need to, like, which was rare, but you never really know sometimes. And then, or if there's like an accident on top of the traffic, or if you have to park and walk somewhere, like if you're close by, parking isn't available, then you have to walk. I would always consider that kind of thing. So, I would always try to get somewhere in like an hour 20 or like an hour 30 minutes, and still be there early, and then just be able to relax instead of being like cutting it. Because if you're driving in that much traffic, it's hard to get somewhere 5 or 10 minutes early. Like, honestly, that's harder to do. Because a 5 or 10 minute window, that can be like just an easy thing. Like, an exit is blocked off, like they're doing construction, or like they close an exit or something, and now you have to take some weird detour, and it's really congested, and the lights are out or something weird, and then there goes your 5 or 10 minutes. I'd rather have a 30-minute buffer, honestly. But yeah, I would say sometimes the drive would be a little over an hour, up to 90 minutes, but I would usually count on it being like 90 minutes. But that is so inconvenient, like having to leave 2 hours early just to like go to work. Like, that kind of thing in LA is very normal, whereas in San Diego that was not a normal thing to do. Well, actually, because I was never driving with the traffic. I remember when I drove from near the border up to UCSD, it took like a little over an hour driving with traffic at like 9, 8, 8 something, 7:30 something in the morning. Um, but yeah. So, yeah, like, it was fun talking to the Uber driver. He was pretty upbeat, and we had a good chat. Um, I kind of talked to him about my career shift, and um, that was nice. Um, he was pretty. He said some nice things. He was kind of like, "Yeah, you sound pretty smart, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna do pretty well." And sometimes it's like just little things like that that people say that are just like, I'm like, I kind of needed to hear that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not an idiot. Like I do have a brain. Like I know how to use it. I like using it. I like having intellectual activities to participate in, even just for fun. Um, and so it was really nice to hear somebody just say a nice compliment. Um, and I mean, it was cool. He was cool. And you know, it was fun. And uh, I got to the airport. Um, yeah, went through security. Went to yeah, I just kind of sat down and ate what are those cookies? Those Quest cookies. I ate one of those for my breakfast, and then when I landed at LAX, I I had to catch the shuttle to the Uber. We were 37 minutes delayed leaving Vegas. We were just sitting in the plane for like 37 minutes, but at least they told us before. So it's a little longer of a flight, but it's like whatever. Like, usually flying to or from Vegas, you're in the air for about 30 minutes, and so I was like, it's really not that bad. Um, I just kind of closed my eyes and was like nodding off a little bit, but not like fully sleeping, not like fully in a nap. Um, Caught my Lyft. Lyft was cheaper than Uber, so I took a Lyft. I think it was like $36. I think Uber was like $40. So I took the $36 Lyft. Um, and I was standing on one side and they told me to come over all the way to the other side. So there's like I don't know, like the shuttle, there's like a bus called like Laxit, and it takes you, the green Laxit bus is free. You just stand by the pole that has the sign, and it picks up everybody. So I was able to get into the bus shuttle, and it took us over to the rideshare pickup area, and I ordered my ride and got all the way to where I was going. So that was nice, and that driver was nice. He was from Nigeria, and we kind of talked a bit about Africa, about career, about stuff like that. Um, he was kind of curious why I wasn't gonna stay in psych and get licensed, because he's like, well, you already have your degree, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm burnt out. I can't work in the field. It doesn't matter how much they pay me. I'm not gonna do good at that job, because it kind of wears on me way too much. It's not a good fit at the moment, so I kind of know it's best for me to not deal with that. And then um, I came home, I ate. Once I was relaxed and showered and everything, I ate some leftover pizza and some frozen veggie nuggets, because when we have leftover pizza, I throw it in the freezer in some foil, and so I just heated that up with some chicken nuggets while I was like, getting kind of cleaned up and putting my stuff away and everything. Well, I didn't really fully unpack, but that was kind of just like, a little organizing. I think I mentioned before, whenever I go out of town, my mom freaking likes to come in my room and like change my bedding and stuff. And I mean, she doesn't have to do that, but she's a mother. That's what she does. I don't really prefer it, but I'm kind of like, whatever. It's one less thing that I have to do. So she does it, but I mean, I could do it myself. It's not a big deal. But so she had my sheets kind of like drying and blankets drying, but I had some extra blankets and sheets, so I just put those clean ones that she didn't newly clean. I put those clean ones on the bed and just was ready to like eat and relax. So I did that, ate, and then I was like, let me check if my scores are in from the exam. And it turns out I passed, so that's good. I could have done a little better, because hiring managers can look at the scores. I think I'm considering retaking it. I can still retake the exam one more time. I just don't want to study. So I'll see. I might just reapply. I might just start applying to jobs first and see what happens, but I don't know. I think I should retake it. I'm so tired to even think about studying again. And I'd rather get employed first, but I don't know if having a score that's not like super competitive, like it would be nice to score over like 95, but I didn't. And so, I mean, I didn't score bad, but it's like, if there is a way to score better, why not try it? But yeah, so I saw the comments that I got on my exam, on the non-multiple choice answers, and it's pretty much like I expected. Like, the stress, the nerves, the brain fog really did affect me. And they even mentioned, because they give comments on each of the items, and they even mentioned, that I need to be better at like articulating myself and like expanding on ideas, and like they didn't really say it this way, but kind of more like showing more confidence in like how I'm like expressing myself about things, just being able to kind of more smoothly articulate what I'm trying to say. And I totally agree. That was totally the whole thing that I recognized, because they can see you taking the test too. Like, it's proctored by webcam, and so you're on camera the whole time you're taking the test. Like, your laptop camera is recording you take the test, and it's recording your screen as you're moving around and stuff. And so they can see what you go back to, they can see how long you spend on questions, they can see how long you take to kind of formulate your answers. And I wasn't like sharp, just like on it, like processing quickly at all. Like, I was just like, oh man, like I was having a hard time like kind of saying what I needed to say. And I mean, it was very apparent with the exam, but I mean, I did well enough despite all that. At least I'm at a place where I can start applying for jobs. I just need to do their resume workshop. I want to get the resume looking the way they want it to, and I need to post my certificate on LinkedIn. I'll do those maybe today or tomorrow. But yeah, I'm excited about it. It's just, yeah, that's kind of how my Monday went. And like, it's been just tiring. So yeah, I watched the Tyler Perry movie that I'd seen already, but I didn't really fully remember. But it was depressing as usual. Tyler Perry movies usually are. It was the one with Janet Jackson, and Yeah, I didn't sleep well. I woke up like every 3 hours. So, around, yeah, like I just didn't sleep good at all. Um, Even yesterday when I came back, I probably napped maybe like 30, 40 minutes. Then I kind of couldn't fall back to sleep again. And I was hydrating a lot, so I kind of hate that, how it's like when I try to nap and then hydrate, and then, I have to keep getting up to go to the bathroom. So it's kind of like, it's hard to time it. Like, I kind of have to drink water like a couple hours before I'm gonna lay down, because then at least it kind of mostly is out of my system, versus like going to the bathroom all the time. So um I'm tired, just mostly because I haven't slept good. This is I don't know how many days we're going on now, but over a week now, because now it's Tuesday at the moment that I'm recording this, about Monday. So because I think last Sunday was the first day I started feeling, some intestinal issues or something. Um, and so, or I guess it was last Saturday night, technically. Yeah, technically it was Saturday night. So, I don't know. And I don't know if that's the night when my car got towed. I think it is. That's the night I started having some car trouble. So, yeah. It's always bad timing. Um, but my car was having trouble in May of last year, too. But not only in May, it was like in May, and I had to get a couple things fixed in June. So yeah, I got the starter in May of last year. I got some other issue fixed for the smog in June. And then August it broke down again, and I had to get something fixed related to the alternator charging in August, because I remember it was like my birthday weekend, and I went to that Odessa concert at the Forum with a friend, and so yeah, my car wouldn't start the day when we were leaving, and I told her, I was like, just go, like, you got a long drive, go home, She lived in like La Jolla or something. So there's that. Yeah, and then whatever was wrong with it after August, there was some other overheating issue, like the next week or something. And then, yeah, I don't think it's, oh yeah, New Year's Eve. I had that issue New Year's Eve of 2023, like coming into 2023 when I was in San Diego again. So yeah, I've had a whole bunch of issues in 2022. And now this is the first major issue of 2023, and I haven't hardly driven it other than to and from the beach or the gym. Like, I went to Cerritos like once, and otherwise I've just driven locally. Like, even when I went to the rave downtown, I Ubered. So I haven't driven it but once to Orange County, and otherwise just locally. So I don't really know. Like, that's not a good sign if I can't even just drive it locally. So yeah. So maybe as of Saturday, I started getting kind of bummed about that a little bit, because it's just one thing to have to worry about. It kind of limits opportunities for me too. And I did get a food delivery job that I'm glad I didn't take, because it would have worn out my car earlier. And I kind of had to make that choice. I was like, the money that they're going to be giving me isn't going to be worth wearing out my car. Plus, I was just needing to study for this exam, so that I took last Thursday. So, yeah, I feel like it was a good decision, because otherwise my car would have worn out way earlier, and I don't know if I would have saved that money or not. I don't really know. I probably would have bought a bunch of tickets to summer stuff, to a bunch of like Pride events and like other stuff, and so I don't really know if that would have been a good idea at all. So yeah, I I basically went through all that. And yeah, I think it's all kind of wearing on me, because it's a lot of having to plan, like all of a sudden, like since last Saturday, or the Saturday before last, the Saturday before the most recent Saturday. Yeah, I've been having to quickly think about a lot of different stuff. Like, my break was officially over in April, but now my break is like really over. It's like I really have to get on a lot of this stuff, and then some situation happened with some family members last week that was kind of just a really annoying experience that, in a way, was kind of triggering and kind of a bit of a setback. So it kind of just let me realize more that I need to just get where I need to be, where I know I need to be, and not really get too settled over here, because people are getting too comfortable now, and it's getting to a point where it's wearing on me for sure. So it's like back to that again. But yeah, like I started noticing that like last week. I was like, people can be on good behavior, but once they start falling back into their ways, like there's just certain types of people that the way they are is just not what I want to live with. And I did decide to come move back over here to kind of speed up the process and to get away from those other people, and now having other family here that is still doing things in a very unhealthy kind of way. I don't want that setting me back, so I'm even more determined to kind of just push forward. I mean, things are working. It's just slow. It's very, very slow, but yeah, it's fine. And then, see, I didn't really sleep, and then we're up to, I guess, May 16th, Tuesday today. It's 10:28 a.m. at the moment. All I really did this morning so far is get up and eat some instant oats. Not the plain ones, but the ones that are like pre-flavored, like the apple cinnamon or whatever it's called, and the maple one. So I just combined a packet of each of one of those and ate as much as I could. It's way too sweet for me, though. I hate those pre-packaged ones. They're way too sweet for me. I just like the original plain. But I ate it because I didn't want to make eggs, and it was instant. And so, Yeah. Today is Tuesday, so I know the neighbors' gardeners are supposed to come. So, there's that. And Thursday I have a doctor's appointment. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to be up to. But, um, yeah, I don't really know. Um, um, I think today I should just rest. Like, I don't like having lazy days because I've got a lot of stuff I do need to be doing, but it's like I can't do it if I'm in like a drained mindset. Like, it was one thing to push through till Thursday last week and then to push through past this trip. But now that I'm past the trip and past the exam, I don't think I need to, like, overdo it. I think I need to relax. Um, like, Sunday was nice to kind of force myself to relax, but I knew I was going to have to go out at night, so I couldn't, like, fully relax the whole day. And yesterday I traveled, so I got to relax, like, the second half of the day. But today's the first day that I'm, like, home fully, so I think today's the day I should probably rest fully. Um, but I don't really know. Um, but yeah, but we'll see. I was in the process of selling my car, but I don't know. It seems like it's going to be an issue that's going to cause too much conflict with my parents because they're nosy as fuck and like to get overly involved in things and like to complain and bitch and moan about things. So we'll see. Um, so I didn't actually fully sell it. Um, I had posted that, once I get back Monday and Tuesday, I'll be showing the car again. But then I took the post down because I was like, like, these other people don't really understand. Like, they're more like, they would rather hold on to something that they're not going to use. And I'm very much like, if I'm not going to use it, get rid of it before it becomes obsolete and before nobody wants it anymore. Like when I had an iPhone 6, it was like, why not just get rid of it, before nobody can use it, you know? Um, things that have to do with technology are like that, and cars are like that. Like, you can't just keep it forever. It's going to keep losing value and losing value. I mean, to some extent, it's gaining a little bit of value because there aren't that many of them around anymore. But at the same time, like, it needs so much work done on it, and it has had already so much work done on it. So it's like, if someone buys it and they're not, like, advanced with, like, having their own mechanical skills, I don't really think they're gonna have a good time with that car. Um, so I don't know, but my folks are so concerned about it. At the moment, it's just more of a burden to try to sell it than it is to not. So I'm just gonna let it sit there, and they're probably gonna complain about that. But I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till they start complaining about it. That's just my method of dealing with things. It's like, I'll just wait till they start complaining about it, and then they can see that, yeah, I'm not driving it. So then they'll be like, you should probably sell it. And like, yeah, no shit, that's what I said the first time. you know like, that's what I said last summer when the starter went out. It was that I need to sell it. I already knew that then, but I've been trying not to get another car until I'm working, and I'm not working yet, so I want to focus on getting into work. So I think Wednesday, I'll work on my resume. And I mean, I already have a resume. I've updated it and my CV and everything because in April, I went through that process of trying to apply for jobs. And so at least that helped me kind of get my resume and stuff up to date. So I just need to update it that I have this certificate now. And then continue and keep going. But yeah, I'm gonna take a break. Today for May 15th, I'm gonna force myself to take a break. As much as I don't want to do that, I'm gonna do that. And yeah, it's definitely a necessity. And then yeah, but I can tell, like, I'm definitely feeling like, I prefer to be pretty isolated. I don't really want to talk to anybody, especially the people in the house. Like, I'm just kind of like, I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, leave me alone. I don't want to eat meals together or anything like that. Like, I just find it to be a burden. I don't feel like I get a lot out of it, more than being like annoyed having to like interact with people who have kind of gotten back into their ways. Like, it was fun while it lasted, as far as like everybody being nice with one another, but now it's kind of back to the usual of the poor communication, just people just not managing their own stuff, and I don't want to be a part of it. Like, I've completely opted out. Like, I'm not gonna participate, like, as much as people are like, oh, you should come and like we should watch this together or do this or that. I'm like, no, like, I will not do that. You know, and I'll see. Like, I've mentioned it before, things are a lot more chill when it's just my mom. My dad's got a whole other thing with himself, the way that he is, and I'm just not gonna put up with it. I'm not gonna deal with it. It's fine for me to just avoid it all and just. I mean, I don't even know why he's here, how long he's here for. I thought he was just gonna stay a little bit, but it turns out he's probably here long term. It seems like. So I don't know. It's kind of almost pushing me out. In all honesty, like it's kind of motivating me more than anything to kind of get the ball rolling so I can just get out and not have to deal with it anymore. I mean, if he wants to live here, if they want to live that kind of lifestyle together, they can go ahead and do that. But I mean, the whole reason I moved was to mostly get away from people like that. So I just don't interact with people like that. I already made that decision that I just won't. So that's what I've got to do for me. And so, the first plan is get a job and get out. And that'll definitely be possible. But I got to get my energy in a place where I can actually consider working, because right now that's not going to happen. Like, I need to be able to have like a regular schedule, basically. But I don't know. That's just how it is. But yeah, I've got some opportunities that are kind of work related that I'm going to be doing. Some gigs that I can just do right away. So I'll probably take some of those. None of them are glamorous, but I don't know. For me, sometimes work is work. And I don't know if I'll have energy to do it this week. I'll probably do it next week. And just keep it at that. But that's kind of all I'm doing with my plan. I'm just trying to get my energy back now. I did do journaling again when I was at the airport on Monday. Just kind of like capturing kind of the differences I noticed between, my situation before. Like this whole Vegas trip and stuff was like a part of a phase for me. Like it was like a transition into this next phase of actually like getting work. The portion before I went to Vegas was like doing the last steps I need to do before I can apply. So I kind of wanted it that way because I was like, well, if I kind of like things that kind of mark a point in time. So I was like, well, if I can take the exam before Vegas, then at least when I'm in Vegas, I can relax and not have to study and not have to think about this exam, which is exactly what I did because I was like, no matter what happens, if I pass or fail, I'm not going to know because I'm not going to check. And so I did pass, so now it's on to the next phases. But yeah. But for now, it's kind of it. I'm just gonna rest. I've got some projects I do need to be working on, but for the pods and stuff. But I'm gonna have to postpone those because I just need to get my energy back to normal. And practice self-care and not overdo it. Like I don't even need to overdo it lately, so there's no real point in pushing in my mind. So yeah, I'm gonna post these out, and then that's all I've got for this update. But with that, thanks for listening.